Hi there everyone, welcome once again to the Train Aid HQ. My name is Nick and in today's video we are going to be looking at the Level 3 Award in Education and Training and how to answer the first unit, Unit A, which is understanding the teaching role and responsibilities in education and training. This is the first unit of the Level 3 award. However, please check our other videos on how to complete Unit B, Inclusive Practice, and also Unit C, which focuses on assessment methods within teaching and training. In terms of the qualification, we are expecting to see roughly 2,000 words on each of your assignments. Do feel free to go over that word count, that's absolutely fine. Please do send a completed assignment in to us to receive feedback within 5 working days. You can progress onto units B or C as you are awaiting feedback. Okay. In terms of the assignment, we will be looking at Unit A, but a few general rules. You can write in the first or third person, that's absolutely fine. You can include examples, perhaps from your current or future teaching role as well. You only need to reference the Level 3 and Gravel's textbook. If you would like to include other sources of information, other textbooks, journals or websites, please feel free to do so. Just put them on the reference list at the very end of your assignment. So we're going to kick off with our first criteria 1.1, which is to explain the teaching role and responsibilities in education and training. Before we look at the roles and responsibilities of a teacher and trainer, I think it's an excellent idea to talk about the teaching and learning cycle. As we can see here, we have 5 different stages, okay? All teachers and trainers need to know about the teaching and learning cycle in order to them to plan and develop their own courses. What I would recommend as a starting point for Unit A is to define each of the different stages. So identification of needs, planning and designing your course, delivery and facilitation, so how your course is going to be delivered. Okay, assessment, so whether or not you're going to use perhaps exams, coursework within your very own course, and finally evaluation, how you are going to evaluate and gain feedback about your course. This could be gaining feedback from learners, from colleagues, for example, sending out electronic surveys. Okay, so what we are looking for you to explain what happens at each stage of the cycle. You can, of course, include examples at each stage. So if you're already teaching, things that you've done already as a teacher or trainer, or things you might want to use in the future as well. Okay, so why not include one example at every stage? In terms of a word count here, we're looking for roughly 200 to 400 words. You can include a picture of the teaching and learning cycle if you wish. You can find information on the teaching and learning cycle in pages 3 and 4 in the textbook as well. Now, staying with criteria 1.1, once you've talked about the teaching and learning cycle, you've set the scene for what is to come next. We are looking at the roles and responsibilities of a teacher or trainer. As you can see, there's a vast range of roles and responsibilities. A few are mentioned just here on the board. So role could be to be a motivator, to engage your learners, to be perhaps an assessor as well. So judging your learners, have they met the criteria on certain qualifications. In terms of responsibilities, of course, we have to meet the individual needs of learners, to be supportive. It could be health and safety. So is the environment safe for learners to obviously to work? Also to be an administrator, to meet deadlines as well as a teacher, to be organised, to produce lesson plans and schemes of work. Okay. For this criteria, what we are looking for you to do is to explain a minimum of 4 roles and 4 responsibilities. Do feel free to use the roles and responsibilities from the table here. The textbook again, the pages are 3 and 4, so have a look at that. In terms of each role and each responsibility, we're looking for roughly 3 to 4 lines, okay? And you can include teaching examples. So how do you show that you are a motivator within your classroom, for example? So you can explain about your current or your future teaching practice. That's absolutely fine. So for this criteria, roughly 2 to 500 words, okay, which follows on from the teaching and learning cycle. Okay, we are moving on to criteria 1.2 now. Okay, criteria 1.2 looks at legislations, regulations, and also codes of practice. For more information, please have a look at pages 15 to 17 in the textbook. There's a range of different legislations in there. Some of the key legislations that you need to know about as a teacher and also promote are Health and Safety at Work Act, GDPR, which overtook the Data Protection Act, safeguarding, and also manual handling as some examples there. Now for this criteria, we'd like for you to pick out any 4 legislations, regulations, or codes of practice, okay? We would like for you to explain your 4, okay? When were they founded, for example? And also, how do they apply to your current role, okay? So if you're teaching already, how do you enforce the Health and Safety at Work Act? If you're working with PPE, it could be ensuring that all learners understand how to use PPE safely, for example. The suggested word count here is 400 words in total. You can, of course, go over that, but we're looking for you to reflect on any 4 legislations, codes of practice, or regulations. You can include a blend of 4, okay? Just moving on to criteria 1.3, we're looking at ways that you as a teacher can promote equality and value diversity within your teaching environment. Okay, this is very important. The Equality Act came into force in 2010. Okay, as a teacher or trainer, we are there to be essentially a role model to promote equality and diversity, to ensure that our learners are equal within the learning process, that their needs are catered for, and we are valuing diversity as well. Just behind me are a key range of different ways that we can promote equality and diversity, such as being non-judgmental, to be fair, unbiased as a teacher, to listen to all of our learners' needs and concerns. We can promote diversity through resources. It could be adapting resources, it could be promoting sort of schemes of work or specific days as well. You can also promote equality and diversity by ensuring you don't have favourite learners. You remain objective as a teacher or trainer as well. So those are just some ways that we can promote equality and diversity. And what we would like for you to do is for you to reflect on a minimum of 3 to 4 ways that you do this, okay, either in your current or future teaching practice as well. For more information, have a look at pages 60 to 64 in the textbook, okay, and as a word count, we're looking for 300 words as a minimum here. We're just going to move on to criteria 1.4 now. And criteria 1.4 is all about why it is important to identify and meet individual learner needs, okay? One of the key areas for this is simply the reputation of your establishment. So it does follow on from equality and diversity. For every teaching, training establishment, we would like for learners to feel that they are essentially their needs are being focused on. So we can do this through a robust initial assessment. We could find out about their individual needs, their background, their qualifications and expectations for the course. So through initial or diagnostic tests, such as a skills test, we can find out their strengths, their weaknesses, and we can perhaps put together a plan for them to sort of focus on specific targets for your course. Another way that we can identify and meet individual learner needs is through ILPs. This is what's known as individual learning plans. Throughout your course or qualification, it's good to sit down with your learners and provide them with targets. An ILP could be roughly 5 minutes. You have a chat to them to find out how they're progressing with their course, how they think they're doing, and you can set targets, and this is going to help to meet individual needs here. Another key example is identify any learning requirements as well. You can work with perhaps teaching assistants as well, cover supervisors, support staff as well, and sort of delegate and to find out how you can use staff members to help your learners as well. Okay, perhaps they need some one-to-one support as well. So signposting can come into this question as well. In terms of answering this question, we would like for you to explain why it is important to identify learner needs. We'd also like for you to include 3 to 4 ways to support individual learner needs. So we want you to find out how you can cater for your learners. We're looking for 300 words as a minimum for this criteria. We are now moving on to criteria 2.1. 2.1 is to essentially explain ways to maintain a safe and supportive learning environment. Okay, there are a range of ways to do this. So in terms of safety, health and safety is key, making sure that your environment is safe and secure. There's no tripwires for learners, okay? Computers are safe, okay? That learners perhaps have access to PPE and hard hats and anything if they are perhaps doing a practical assessment outside, that they are safe and secure. In terms of supportive, we can be a supportive teacher, so keeping them on track with their coursework, to be friendly, to be approachable both inside and outside the lessons, okay? To be knowledgeable as well, so you can have the most up-to-date knowledge of your subject area, and this shows that you are supportive that way. And also signposting as well is very important. So if you as a teacher or trainer are very much at the end of your knowledge and a learner has a question or a particular need and you don't know the answer and you can't really give them the best advice, then signposting them to another resource or person or service shows that you are supportive. For this question, we would like for you to explain 3 to 4 ways to promote a safe learning environment and 3 to 4 ways that you are supportive as a teacher as well. Okay, you can use any of the ones highlighted just in the table behind me, and do include either current or future examples here. We're looking for 300 to 400 words just on this criteria. Now we're moving on to explain why it is important to promote appropriate behaviour and respect for others. Very important within any training establishment to promote respect, ideal behaviour and standards, okay, that all learners and staff should adhere to. And why is it important? Okay, if you have a pleasant learning environment, then learners are going to relax more. They're going to open up, they're going to discuss and share opinions. It's going to be a positive learning environment. They're going to be able to focus on their tasks, their assignments, and therefore that's going to help them to achieve the qualification as well. One other key way is that they are going to promote confidence. They're going to perhaps try new skills. They're going to perhaps work on particular subjects. They're going to perhaps work in new groups as well. And therefore, that's why it's so important that we establish ground rules for all learners to follow, and they're going to have a sense of a buy-in, okay, that this is their environment, they feel safe and secure, and their values, their thoughts, their opinions are valued as well. So these are the key reasons why it's important to promote behaviour and respect, okay? And what we're looking for here for this assignment is for you to explain 3 reasons, any 3, okay, why it's so important to promote respect. In terms of this assignment, we are looking for roughly 300 words for this assignment. Okay, we're just coming to the tail end of Unit A now, and the next one is to look at the criteria of 3.1. This is to explain how the teaching role involves other professionals as well. Okay, the term signposting is all about working with a range of other professionals, and it's about knowing your limitations. So for criteria 3.1, we need to come up with a definition of what is the term signposting. So you as a teacher or trainer, you need to be honest with your learners. If you can't give them the advice that they are looking for, you need to say, sorry, I don't understand, and just being honest is quite key as a teacher. And you need to signpost them to a different organisation, resource, another person that can help them, okay? So it's about knowing your limitations as a teacher, that's absolutely fine, and just giving them advice to point them in the right direction, okay? For any training or teaching establishment, there will be perhaps posters, there'll be members of staff that can help learners and support them and give them the correct advice. For this criteria, we would like for you to explain the term signposting. So what does it mean? And why is it important to promote signposting within your establishment as well? We're looking for just 200 words here for this criteria. Now, following on from signposting, we need to think about the reasons why learners need additional support. So we're looking just at the boundaries or barriers to teaching. Okay, there's many reasons throughout a course or qualification that barriers do occur, and barriers or boundaries are there to very much stop learners from achieving their full qualification. Okay, some typical boundaries or barriers could be time. Okay, perhaps learners have a part-time job, they have perhaps a family or personal life, okay, and they don't simply have the time to study. It could be peer pressure as well, quite common. So what the learner's friends think about the course or qualification, okay. It could also be equipment and resources. It could be the cost of the qualification. Perhaps it's a bit too much. Perhaps they can't afford to come onto the course, for example. It could also be the learner's health or confidence issues. It could be family views as well. So there are many potential barriers that can happen very much at the start of a course or during, and these are going to stop the learner from achieving their full qualification. For this criteria, we would like for you to explain the term boundaries or barriers in education and training. And we would like for you to explain a minimum of 3 different boundaries or barriers, okay? For this criteria, it's simply 200 words as a minimum. And we would also like for you to have a look at pages 6 to 7 as well to give you a helping hand with this criteria. This brings me to the last criteria of Unit A. It's simply to describe points of referral to meet the individual needs of learners, okay? Now, these are a number of different ways which we can help learners overcome their boundaries or barriers. We have learning support, careers counselling, we have fellow managers as well, okay? So these are the different sources of information or resources or people that we can signpost our learners to. Okay, so you as a teacher or trainer, it's good to have a bank of knowledge of who to send the learner to if they are requiring other advice here. To meet the criteria for this question, what we would like for you to do is to explain firstly the term points of referral. What does that mean? We'd also like for you to describe any 3 types of points of referral. Okay, it could be from our list here. Okay, and then once again, the suggested word count is 200 words. Do feel free to go over that limit. Okay, we are on the final element of the course of Unit A. So we have the learner reflection. Okay, we have 2 questions here. So what have you learnt, refreshed from this unit? So looking for roughly 3 to 4 lines. In your own words, what have you learnt from Unit A? And finally, looking forward, how might it influence your teaching in the future? Okay, so what have you learnt and how are you going to apply these skills and techniques to your future teaching as well? Again, 3 to 4 lines here. We would also like for you to sign the document, okay? If you've got an electronic signature, please put that in, or simply a typed signature and date is absolutely fine. Once that's done, please attach your assignment to an email and send it in to us at submissions@train-aid.co.uk. If you'd like to handwrite your assignments as well, absolutely fine. Just scan it and send it in to us. The team work to 5 working days to turn around assignments, okay? If you haven't met the criteria, don't worry. The team are very supportive and they'll give you helpful hints and advice for your resubmission, okay? Thank you very much for listening to Unit A, and please progress to the video for Unit B and C. And just remember to like and to subscribe to our Train Aids videos. Thank you very much.